Howdy y'all, my name is Nate with Boscal John Design Co. and welcome to our YouTube channel. This is, I think, one of our first videos. We're hoping to make a lot more about our laser engravers that we have in our shop, and this one being the first one, I'm going to chat a little bit about the two laser engravers that we have in our shop. The very first laser that we started with is the Ortur Laser Master 2. It was a super cheap laser that we bought for one project that we found out that our CNC couldn't accomplish, and so we purchased this laser, used the money from the project that we had to pay for it, and that was where it all began. The Ortur Laser Master 2 is a very plug-and-play laser. You just have to have all the connections right. You do have to build out the laser, so you're responsible for putting all the pieces together, but if you can do that correctly and learn where to plug things in, it's pretty much plug and play. We pretty quickly outgrew the capabilities of that machine as we developed more and more projects and products that needed to be cut through. And so with the Ortur Laser Master 2, you can cut through wood. It just takes many passes going around at a high power to get through it. And so you experience a lot of charring and burning around the edges, which isn't super ideal. And so after we had been battling with that for quite a while, we decided to dip our toes into the CO2 world. So once we ran into the limitations of the diode laser, we decided to start looking for what else was out there. And what else was out there was the world of CO2 lasers. And so these machines are run at much higher powers, so they're able to do much more as far as cutting capacity. And so, there's the Ortur is a 10 watt. We have a 10 watt head on there, and it's a diode laser, which basically means it's a very bright light that is funneled into a black box that shoots out the bottom and makes a beam to engrave and cut things. The CO2 laser is a little bit different. It actually generates a laser beam of sorts, not quite a bright light, but a laser beam of sorts through a tube in the back of it, and it hits 3 separate mirrors and then shoots through a laser head into the material. And so, like I said, these CO2 lasers are much more powerful. This laser behind us is a Monport 40 watt, and so it's technically 4 times the power of our Ortur laser. And it is CO2, and CO2 probably runs a little bit more powerful than the diode lasers of the world, and so it's probably a little bit more than 4 times the power of our diode laser. And so you can get 40 watt, you can get 60 watt, 80 watt, 100, 150. There's a wide array of watts that you can get, and as you increase your wattage, typically the machine size grows because you're putting a bigger and bigger tube in the back of the machine, and so then it just makes sense to make the bed size even bigger. And so, like I said, behind me is the Monport 40 watt. Monport was gracious enough to send this machine to us, and we've been trying it out for like the last six-ish months. This is our primary laser that we use now. We still do use our Ortur laser on occasion, but this is the primary laser that we use now. The only significant limitations that we have on this machine is the bed size. There's a pass-through technically on the front and the back in the Ortur laser, so you can tile engrave much larger items, whereas this does not have a pass-through, so you're restricted to the 12 by 8 inch bed. But most of the stuff that we cut out can be contained within that 12 inch by 8 inch size. So we're going to do a little bit of a walkthrough of the Monport laser, because this is, again, like I said, our primary machine, and it isn't quite as plug and play as the Ortur lasers. There's a lot more things to know, there's a lot more things to tweak, there's a lot more things to get right, and so my plan is to make a few videos on how to tweak these types of lasers to get it at peak performance. And this video is just more of a general overview. We plan to do a video on mirror alignment. We plan to do a video on upgrades that we did to this laser, speeds that we use, power and speeds that we use, kind of the whole gamut. If you're just getting this laser for the first time and you've never used a laser engraver before, going through the setup of the laser engraver, the whole thing. So this being a general overview video, we're going to talk about some of the most basic things that are important to know about CO2 lasers. So the first one being that there is a, I won't flip it around because we don't really have that capacity in this video to flip this around, but underneath this door is a CO2 tube that's about the length of this door that sits back in there, and that generates a beam of CO2 that generates a laser beam that hits the mirror back in that left rear corner, and that bounces off and hits this mirror right here, which moves with the gantry, and this mirror bounces into a mirror that's inside of this laser head, and it bounces straight down into the material, which marks lines similar to this on our material. And so the types of things that we've really enjoyed about this laser is the increased power. The things that we found challenging are all of the nuances and things that need to be right in order for this to work at peak performance. Some of the things that we make with this laser are things like our business cards. So all of this is laser engraved by this machine. We actually purchased these pre-cut out, so this machine didn't cut these out, but it very well could if we wanted it to. So these are the sorts of projects that we make out of wood. We have children's paint kits and other children's products that we make. We do recipe boards. If somebody has a handwritten recipe that they want on a piece of wood, we can do it in here. Some of the upgrades that we have found super relevant for this machine is one, to do air assist. So this does not come stock on this specific machine, and so we switched out this blue head. This is the stock head that came with it, and so we integrated an air pump through this entire thing that blows air into here, keeps the lens cleaner for longer, as well as keeps our cuts cleaner as they cut through the wood. And so it just makes everything a lot cleaner, a lot better. The second upgrade that we attempted to do when we got this machine is we took out this bed and we were trying to install an adjustable Z-height bed. What we found out is that there aren't very many good solutions for that on the market, and we tried one, it didn't work great, and so I ended up putting the stock bed back in it. Some of the upgrades you can do that we haven't done is you can upgrade the mirrors in the machines to higher quality mirrors. You can upgrade the lenses, that sort of thing. We haven't done that. We haven't found the need to do that yet. So we overall like this laser. There are some additional challenges if you're used to diode lasers. This isn't going to be the same type of machine, so there are things you need to learn and know to make this machine run at peak performance. We do plan on, in the next video, doing a mirror alignment video, which I think is probably the most important thing to understand. We've helped a handful of people get their mirrors aligned in machines like this, as well as larger machines, because that really is the most important part. If you don't have your mirrors aligned, it's just not going to work. And so that's the next video that we're going to be doing, is how to align your mirrors. I found that most people don't understand the concept that goes into aligning mirrors, and it took us a very long time to understand it as well. And now that we've taught a couple people, we really feel like we have a good understanding of it. So we're looking forward to making that video for you guys. We think it's going to be super helpful, and again, a very general overview of this machine. We look forward to diving deeper into other videos beyond this one. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.